It's quality. Here's the mission. We want to encourage you to aim for higher purpose so that you can break your curses. Having quality conversations with quality people, also while drinking some
Quality.
quality. The quality person I have, you just heard her voice, is none other than my beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Kenya McIntosh.
What's up, guys?
And we are starting something new today. I'm super excited. It's quality. You heard it, quality conversations with quality people. This is episode 1 of QualiTEA BAE.
Hey.
Because I got a QualiTEA BAE.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm good. Now that you're
don't
here.
look at me like that. Man, well, we got a great show lined up for you. We made a baby.
A nice sized baby.
It's been 9 months.
A healthy baby.
Where's this baby at? It's been 9
It's
months.
right here.
It's right here. Yeah. I mean, we made a metaphorical baby. We've been dating 9 months, so we're going to be talking about our relationship through these 9 months. What have been some of the challenges? First, though, like, just how are you doing? Like, how's your week going? Where you at
How's
mentally?
my week going?
Yeah, like, how's it going?
So, we are doing a fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, this week is until 5. And I would say it's a lot easier because I get off at 5. So, overall, fast wise, I think I'm doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like, minor temptations from work. And then also, I'm starting 25 Days of Christmas on my
shout out to
YouTube
you.
channel this week.
What does that mean, though?
25 Days of Christmas?
Yeah.
It is me posting videos every single day up until Christmas, faith-related topics and lifestyle, faith-related and lifestyle topics too. So basically a video every day until Christmas.
I like it, man. Yeah, that fast is it's killer. We're doing a 40-day fast with our church, and so every week the fast would be from like 6 a.m. to a certain time during the day, and every week it increases by an hour. So the first week it was 6 to 1, and then the second week it was 6 to 2. Now we're at 6 to 5, and next week is our last week, and it's going to be 6 to 6, and excuse me, until Thursday, which is the last day, which that'll be a 24-hour fast. So that's going to be interesting because we can't have nothing for 24 hours. So it has been challenging. I would say once I get past like that, you know when you don't eat lunch and you're just like starving, but then after a certain point, you're just like, oh, I'm good. Like I feel like I hit that. Because I don't get off till 6.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I hit that around 3:34, and I'm like, oh, I'm good.
It is what it
But then
is.
on the way home, I'm like, man, as soon as I get home, I'm opening a bag of something like
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 today.
chips. I don't even care what it is.
Yeah.
Just something, anything edible.
Yeah, like today after work. I mean, not after work. It was like 5:49 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna go get a snack. So at 5, when I'm walking to my car, I can just.
That's actually pretty smart. I keep forgetting to like take my lunch or take food. Because, I mean, you can't really, it's like dinner by the time it's like 5.
Yeah.
And I have an hour. And so that last hour of the day is always like our busiest time. And so I can't just like, normally I can't just like, okay, I'm going to sneak off and like
Eat
something. Because there's always just people there or the phones are ringing off the hook. And so I always just kind of forget. And even when I did bring it that one time, I like didn't eat it until everybody was gone. It was like 5:59. And so I like ate it. I ate it and then clocked off and then went home and ate dinner.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. But yeah, the fast has been great. But let's talk about us.
Okay.
Let's talk about us. So, I mean, first thing. How has it been just dating over the last 9 months? How's it been dating me?
It has been absolutely amazing.
Oh, not amazing.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yes, it's been amazing, at least for me, because I don't know, Josh is just an amazing guy, an amazing man, and he truly is a hard worker, like just like super hard worker, but he always finds time to spend time with me and to show me his love. So
Oh, that was sweet. Yeah, I would say that the last 9 months as we made this baby has been very eye-opening because anytime like you entangle yourself in the lives of others, then it's you like kind of you're exposing yourself, right? Good and bad, right? Because you're really revealing yourself to people, and this goes for any type of relationship, whether it's a close friendship, close work relationship, and of course, well, family relationship, and of course, like anything that's like romantic. And so you never know which way that it could go because when you're revealing yourself to this person and you're becoming more vulnerable and you're really letting them into your life and you're sharing your life with them, then that person they know a lot about you that they can use against you. And so that's why you got to choose a good partner that's not going to do that, even though they have the ability to do that. And I feel like we that's something that we've really established. And I've learned a lot about myself because anytime that you do that, you share your experience of life with other people, you learn a lot about yourself. And one thing I said is like, you truly make me a better person. Like I always say that. And the Bible verse is, as iron sharpens iron, so does another man sharpen another. And I feel like we do that for each other. Like we complement each other well. If I'm not good in this area, then I'll lean on you. And if you're not good in one area, you'll lean on me. And I feel like it's this constant, leaning on each other, but also being
each other.
right, but also being able to, share insecurities, share what we're going through, how we feel, in a safe space and safe environment. I feel like that's really led. So I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned like not only the things that I need to improve upon, but I've learned what I can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like the biggest thing. Because one thing I always say is like Jesus didn't show us what we aren't, but what we could be, because he was like the example of what we could be. And I feel like when you have a good relationship, they start to show you things, show you sides of yourself that you wouldn't think was possible, right? So you think, oops, I hit the wrong button. So you think back to like, there's like classic, movie roles where it's like the macho tough guy who's like all big and bad, and he meets the girl, and then he's like all like, oh, kind of like soft and
Soft.
yeah, it's like, but that's
Teddy bear.
yeah, that's like a different side that he didn't really know existed or wasn't like previously, tested in the world. And so I feel like that's what we do really well. We bring out like all sides of each other so that we're like complete people, for Christ most importantly, but just complete people in general.
So based off that analogy,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is yours? Like, the macho man, teddy bear. What is what is yours?
Like, what is my like personality?
Yeah, I guess like the part that
Okay,
I bring out of you. I guess.
Oh, what is the part that you bring out in me? I think you bring out I have to be very thoughtful. You bring out like the thoughtfulness, like being considerate. So like before we started dating, it was really just I have these goals and I wake up every day to accomplish these goals because I want to hit these goals. I want to get this. I want to get that. I want to get to this place. But sometimes that would backfire because I wouldn't think to do certain things that I should be taking care of. And so like, for instance, like I would come home and I was like, "Well, did you check the mail?" Like that's like a responsibility that I have. And sometimes I'd be so focused on getting here and like making music or doing whatever I need to do for the day that it's just like I forget. Like I just totally slips
Just
my
in
mind
your
to
own
check
zone.
yeah, because I'm in my own zone and I'm focused. And so when I started dating you, what you really challenged me to do was to be considerate, right? Like I think one of the first things was like when we were at a gas station and I was just going to pay, and I was gonna come right back in because it was kind of chilly outside. And she was like, "You gonna close the door?"
Why are you gonna say it like that? I did
Because
not
that's what
say
you
it
did.
like
You
that.
like, you were like, I came back in, and I was like, you look like angry. Because first of all,
I did not.
first of all, look, she.
Okay, my perspective
No.
is gonna come after this.
Okay. All right. So I get out the car, I leave the door open, and I'm going to the pump, and I'm at the pump, and the next thing I know, like she's like crawling over the gear shifter
That is true.
to close the door. And like I hear the door close. I'm like, what the what? And so then I go back and get in the car, and she's like, you didn't close the door. I don't like that. I mean, I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was to that extent. And I was like, oh, she doesn't like the door. So it's just things like that. And so I got to remember, well, close the door. I got to remember to, when we get in this mode of go, 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 like let's make some content, like, no, we need time to ourselves, like date night. We need to like have a night where we just, just enjoy each other's company. Exactly. So that's what you brought out of me. But you can tell your side of the story.
Okay,
now.
my side of the story. So yes, he got out the car to pump the gas. He left the door open. Me, I don't like when the door is open because I'm scared like a bug is gonna come in or whatever. So I just, instead of trying to bother him about it, I was just like, I'm gonna crawl over it and close it. Then when he asked me about it, I was just like, I don't like when the door's open.
Oh yeah, because I was like, yo, like, why did you like? Because I saw you climb like over, like you were on a jungle gym to close the door, and I was like, wow, this girl's doing too much. But I was like, I'm gonna let her have it.
Yeah. So, but he's done like a really good job of remembering to close the door. Like,
yeah, I mean, sometimes
I don't think you missed it. Like,
well, I'll get out of the car sometimes and like not.
But then you come back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
But it's to the point where like, I know I can't do it with you, but I would still do it like by myself. Mm-hmm. But now I don't do it by myself because I know if I get into that habit, I'm going to slip up and do it with you. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to do that, obviously, because then that's not being considerate of you and like kind of that boundary that you set. So that's a good tip. Establish boundaries with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. Say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. It doesn't matter if it's small or big, but just have that dialogue with the person that you're in a relationship with, no matter the relationship, and just establish, hey, this is something that I'm not comfortable with. And so and when you do that, you're going to establish this level of like mutual respect. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. That's just who they are. That's something that nags them. Right. So, man, you have anything else about how this 9 months has gone?
It went by fast.
Oh yeah. We say that all the time.
But it feels like we've been dating for like maybe 3 years. 3 years.
3 years. Explain how it feels like you're dating 3 years and 9 months. Because that's like that's a year every 3 months.
Okay, if you want to put it like that.
I mean, yeah, that's math.
Yeah, math.
Yeah, wow.
So, I would say because we have been intentional and in asking each other questions, like in the very beginning of really trying to get to know each other. And I feel like what we know about each other now, it does take people 3 years to figure out and be like, okay. At the 3-year mark, that's when a lot of people start thinking about marriage and like, is this person someone I would actually want to spend my life with?
Right.
Whereas we were kind of like in the beginning, like, okay, who are you? We got the same goals. We got the same morals and stuff like that. So I would say that is why, and that's how.
No, yeah, that is the biggest piece because like from like off the jump, we ask questions that in a lot of relationships probably don't come up until like years down the road because I think neither one of us were really trying to just have fun or like we wanted to, start a life and build with somebody, because we have massive goals and massive dreams.
Yes.
And so in order to do that, you need somebody also with massive goals and massive dreams, but who's going to also support you in your massive goals and massive dreams, that will walk through that journey with you step by step. Yeah,
My
complimentary.
dear.
My boo. So I think that's something that we were very intentional about. So we asked really tough questions right off the bat. Like,
Hey, you want a situationship?
yeah, that was like one of the first questions she asked. Like, I was like, what? Huh? That's a Snow Allegra song.
Huh?
It is a Snow Allegra song.
Who's Noah Allegra?
You don't know? She's an R&B artist. It's one of my favorite R&B artists, actually.
Noted.
Okay.
I got it.
Cool. All right. She has a great album, Those Feels. And then I forgot the name of her last, it was like Tangerine
Dream.
something. No, maybe Dream? Something like that. I forget. But yeah, she makes really good music. And yeah, she had a song called Situationship. So when you said that, I was like,
That's what you were thinking of.
that's what I thought of. Cause you know, yeah. I guess I got a situationship. I don't sing it as well as her, but you know. I'm working on my pipes. But anyway, yeah, so like that was like a big question. Like you asked me basically about my goals, what I wanted to, because even if you don't want a situationship and you want like a relationship, it's like, well, where do you want the relationship to end up? So like we went through that whole thing, and I guess we'll touch on that just a little bit. But yeah, being intentional has got us to this point because we're on the same page about everything, and we're not just here having fun. It's like, yeah, physical attraction's there, we emotionally connect, but it's deeper than that. Like we have the same goal. We're going to the same place. And so I think a lot of people in relationships will say, oh, I'm physically attracted, and maybe we emotionally connect in a lot of different ways, but they never sit down and say like, well, where are we going?
Where are we going?
That's actually the third question. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So I think that's a good way to segue into the second question, which is, what are some of the challenges? What's been some of the struggles that we faced?
I would say for me, I guess, like past things, I want to say getting in the way, but just like coming up personally in my mind and everything. And
man, I gotta clean this, man. It keeps sticking to the coaster.
And yeah, and sometimes I feel like that can like hold me back on certain things, or I feel triggered trying to bring up like how I feel about something because I'm scared that you will be like, oh, she's too much for me, I can't handle her.
Yeah, I gotta pry it out of you sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah,
yo, like,
he does.
tell me what's going on. I can see that it's something wrong.
Like it's like I'm working on it, but
no, you've definitely been a lot better.
Okay, good.
For sure.
Yay. But yeah, so that, and then I feel like also just being 100% selfless has also been, I won't say a struggle, but just something that I guess is a challenge. Like it challenges both of us, like
right,
putting the other person before ourselves, making sure they're good, putting my personal feelings aside, putting his personal feelings aside, and just making sure we both are taken care of.
Yeah, like one of the things that I really learned was like when I can't just like make decisions. Like I think it was like last week or something where I was like, yeah, we can go and do this. And I was like, hey, we're gonna go do this. And you're like, well, I wish I would have asked like first because we're gonna be at this other function longer than I anticipated we were gonna be.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, you're right, I should have asked first. But I thought and I didn't do it out of like, no, we're just gonna go and do this. I was like, oh, this is something that she would enjoy. Let's go do this. So I just signed up without like, consulting. And it would have been really easy. It wasn't like you were away or it wasn't like I had to pick up the phone and call you. Like you were like right in front of me. So it's just like little things like that. you got to be super mindful of the other person's, time and what they may have planned too, and what they want to do. Because like you're like ultimately you're always sharing lives together, because back to it, you're entangling yourself with this other person. But don't get into any entanglements.
I was like, I don't like that word now. Thanks, Jada.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can entangle yourselves in the lives of others, but don't have entanglements.
I just think of I'll sing the song. That's all I think of.
Man, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy out here in these streets. Man, I would say a struggle, or maybe just a challenge, is it's very similar to yours. It's like not letting, the insecurities degrade the healthiness of the relationships. So like a lot of humans have the tendency when things are going good, it's almost like, oh, this is too good to be true. And then we start to like self-sabotage or start to overthink and overcomplicate things. And it's like, no, if it's going good, just let it ride, baby. Mm-hmm. Just let it ride. Yeah. And so that's one thing that I've had to work on. It's like, oh, this is a good thing. Don't think too much about like what could be going wrong or what may go wrong. It's like, enjoy the beauty of what it is right now and work to sustain that and keep building. It's like, yeah, we may have some, rocky moments, but if you really focus on making each moment like beautiful and making that count and continue to progress moment by moment, then you're just only up, right? You're just going to keep climbing up the mountain. And so I think we've done a very good job of that. And when we've had these feelings of like insecurities and we've been going through like struggles, we've addressed that. We've had open conversations about that, which I think a lot of couples struggle with, probably even married couples struggle with. But one thing that's really benefit us is we have relationship updates.
Yes.
Which they started off, we were like, okay, every Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, right?
Yeah, because we used to do like Bible study together.
Yeah, so we do Bible study on Tuesday. And so after Bible study, we have like a relationship update. Like, where are we? What do we need to improve upon?
How can we be better?
Yeah, how can we be better? How
can I be better for you?
Right. It's like running a business, right? It's like, I mean, it is, because essentially a goal of a business is to make more money than you did the previous year. And so the ultimate goal is to keep improving upon the business. And so that's what we're doing essentially, is we're running the business of the relationship. We're taking care of our business. If you don't take care of your business, it will fail. Wow. Y'all can clip that.
Quotables.
Okay. Yeah, but like but seriously though, it's like we're like, well, what can we do to make sure that I'm about to throw a pun in here, make sure that our relationship profits.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did there?
Profit.
Yeah. Mm. So that's super important. Just going over what you can improve upon, going over what were some of the challenges. What are you dealing with in the moment? Because what you went through or what you're dealing with this week may have been totally different from last week, and what you need this week may be totally different from last week. And so it's like human beings aren't just, just these stagnant people who do the same thing over and over again. Like we're very dynamic in our emotions, in our experiences. And so when you choose to get involved with somebody, you have to go through that, that roller coaster with them, the ups and the downs and what they're going through, what they're dealing with in that moment. And so I feel like we've done that very well.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I wanted to bring up was like, well, what do you think is a challenge for a lot of modern, couples or even married people, just modern relationships, as far as like, what's like that number one challenge that they face that, cripples the relationship?
Besides communication?
No, it can be communication. But like, you got to say communication in like what regards? Like, yeah, in what way does it cripple?
I think going back to like just saying how you feel, like just being straight up, hey, I feel insecure today. I feel nervous about whatever in the relationship today. Like just being straight up, I feel like a lot of couples try to either like push it back on the back burner and either try to handle it themselves, or they just don't bring it up at all, and then it ends up just piling on and on and on and on until like it blows up.
Right.
So I would say that's just not being upfront with like how you're really feeling. And I'm not saying like as soon as you feel the feeling you got to tell them, but like maybe like journal it out, pray about it, and then go to your partner and be like, hey, I'm feeling like this, and
Like
take it from there.
Well, yeah, and also just like holding your partner, like, hey, like, I'm leaning on you to help me through this, right? Like, this is what I'm dealing with. And the partner can't be like, oh, what's wrong with you? They can't have that approach. They have to have the approach of, okay, let me meet you here and let's walk together, right? Because in that particular area of their life, you may be just a little further down the road than they are. And so the partner needs to, stop his progress or stop her progress and be like, hey, come on, let's go, and encourage them. And so that y'all can basically, they can catch up, or you go back and you grab their hand and y'all can continue walking through life together and progressing forward.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
For example, like I know, like sometimes when you're having like a bad day, I try to be like, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? Is there anything that I could do? So I think like that's a good idea.
And I don't think people people underestimate the value of that question, right? Because like when you ask that, I may say nothing, but like the simple fact that you asked it like meant so much more than if you hadn't asked it. If you hadn't asked it, then I'm just still in that mood. But since you asked it, it's like, man, well, I know like if I really, really need something, I can be like, okay, hey babe, like I need this, I need that. And you're just gonna, drop everything and be like, okay, let's take care of business. And let's do what we have to do to resolve the issue. And so, but I think, not the communication piece feeds into what I think the biggest challenge is for a lot of people. And that is not living, I call it like the Disney effect, right? So everybody has,
I know where you're going.
Oh, you know where I'm going. So like everybody has this like idea. It's like they want the fairy tale, but they don't want it to do what it takes to, get that fairy tale, right? Like they only live happily ever after at the end of the story.
Yep.
Exactly. So our end of the story is when we're going to heaven's gates together. Like our lives are over, basically. And so people just want the end of the story without having going through the process of what it takes to get that result. And so Cinderella or any of the other Disney movies, it's not just like all rainbows and unicorns
struggled
until like the end, right? Like they're going through like craziness to find their Prince Charming or to dance with the beast or to be with the beast or whatever the plot line is. Like they're going through all this stuff, but all everybody sees and all everybody wants is the very ending of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't even gone, like you're not even at chapter 1, but you want chapter 20.
You're at the conclusion, my friend.
Right. And so I think people have this, and what it does is people get this idea in their head of exactly who they want. Like girls are like, oh, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be that. Guys do it too. He's got to look like this. She's got to do this for me. She got to do that for me. Yeah. It's like, and then when you get a good person that does basically all of that, except maybe they're not as strong in one area, then it's like, oh man,
So
there goes my ideal person. And it's like, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And so
that's actually, I have an example about that one.
Okay. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, nobody's perfect. So it's like, get somebody who compliments you, right? Who's going to be, back to one of our little sayings, your weighted blanket, right? Who's going to just be that security for you, who's going to hold you down, right? You don't want somebody that is just checks all the boxes, like an idealistic box. You want somebody who's like real, who's going to actually go through the process of life with you. And so I think that's the biggest challenge that people face, because they're always looking for an ideal instead of a human that they can instead of a real person that they can walk through life with. And so what was your example though?
So my example, in terms of like expectations versus reality. So I was watching this show called Married at First Sight, Unmatchables. And this guy, he's probably like 5'7", like a normal looking guy. But his ideal woman was someone who had just a woman that was like extremely attractive. And so what the experts did, they brought in like just normal women, and they compared what he expected out of a woman, and they gave their perspective of like, okay, if this woman is extremely attractive, she should be with this kind of man. And after he heard what they were saying, he was like, okay, maybe I need to chill out my expectations a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that goes into what you were saying.
Right. And it's like, what are your expectations versus, like, do your expectations match like
what you can provide?
Well, what you can provide, but also like what a real meaningful relationship reflects.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you want this ideal person, but does that ideal person but you want like the long-term steady relationship? Does that ideal person match that? It's like a lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times they're just like the trophy for you. And so really finding that complement, back to weighted blanket, that complementary weighted blanket is going to be big. And so, yeah, I think we've done a good job of complimenting each other well, picking each other up, and just being there. And also, this is really big too, like allowing the other person to fail and that being okay, right? Back to nobody's perfect. You have to give the other person room to be human, right? They're not going to be perfect all the time. They're going to fall short of your expectations. They're going to fail you. That's just the reality. Like in every single relationship, I don't have one, and I have a couple of friends that I've known forever. And at some point in the relationship, I've disappointed them and they've disappointed me. Now, most of the time it hasn't been a big deal, like too big of a deal, and it hasn't happened often, but it's happened in every single relationship. And how you handle that is going to determine like if you're actually ready for a long-term relationship. Do you give that person the space to, mess up, but then also give them the mercy to, redeem themselves and see the error of their ways and improve? Or are you just going to badger them and be like, well, now you ain't nothing, right? Because you didn't do this and you did that. But it was like, oh, you thought they were the ideal person in your head. But now when they all of a sudden fall short of that ideal, it's like,
whoa,
I don't want you no more.
That's crazy. Extend grace.
Yeah, extend grace always. We need to do a whole episode on that.
Grace.
But I think that brings up a good segue into our third question.
Where are we going?
Where we headed? Where we headed, babe? Where are we going? Where? I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Oh. Okay. Well, I got a good answer to this. I'll tell you where we're going.
Okay.
We are going to heaven's gates together. That is the absolute goal. Walking through heaven's gates, hand in hand. That is the absolute goal. And my ultimate goal on earth is to explore the depths of your soul, to really get to know you. Because back to what I was saying, I feel like you make me a better person. You make me strive to be whole in every single way, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You're always pushing me to be the best. And so because of that, I want to, when I explore your soul, it's revealing stuff in me that I need to, better. And so, and again, back to now I'm seeing different sides of myself that I didn't see. And I can take that information and I can take the experiences of what we go through and me being able to really get to know you. And I can just make myself a better. And so that is ultimately where I see, of course, like it's marriage. And then it's just now we're building and pushing towards our goals and just sharing our lives together. Like there's nothing better than shared experiences and being able and having that person that you can just walk through life with. And I feel like you are definitely the one. I'll look at her.
I'm blushing. Blushing. Okay. So I would agree. I see all those things with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely growing and building together. Family together. You like that one, huh?
Yeah.
Family together, just doing life together. Like I see that. That's where we're headed.
Do you see like white picket fence, dog named Fido, White House, or Little House on the Prairie? Like
I used to love that show, but definitely a White House, but like a modern farmhouse look, but like a modern.
We'll work on it, guys. We'll work on it. No, actually, that might look cute. That'll be the guest house. That could be the guest house.
What's the main house?
Something different.
Like the Scandinavian look.
I mean, if I saw pictures, then I'd be like, okay, that's boss.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay,
yeah.
That's boss.
I mean, you have good taste. Like sometimes you say stuff, and I'm like, that doesn't even sound appealing. And I'll look at it and go,
wow.
Would you look at there? Girls got style.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
That's wild, right?
Wild.
That's crazy. But yeah, do you oh, it's my Amber Alert. I was like, what is that? That's like the second one tonight. Man, these people going crazy out here. It is a crazy world. Please, people, buckle up. Winter is coming. And I don't even watch Game of Thrones.
Winter is here.
Oh, yeah, actually, it's here. It's like here. It's December.
You see the prices.
But yeah, just back to this. We're not doing this just to do it. Like this, back to being intentional. Like we're intentionally going through life together so that we can better ourselves, hit our goals, and
build the kingdom
of God. And we want you to aim for higher purpose so that you can break your curses. And that's why we're having quality conversations with quality people while drinking some QualiTEA. Man, this has been a great episode. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Can't wait for the next one.
Me neither. Yeah, y'all better stay tuned because it's about to get real. Remember to always be blessed.